Good afternoon. We have so far seen the different ways in which vocab building can happen. Just to reiterate once again, we have done etymology, we have done prefixes, we have done word families, we have also done words from other sources like eponyms, toponyms. Now, once you have understood what are the different ways in which word learning can happen or different techniques of word building, let's see how can the resources provided to you as far as the words go can be used using these techniques. In short, what I'm trying to say is that on your student homepage, you have certain word lists being given to you. A lot of you might even have the cue cards given to you. Is there any way in which what we have studied so far in terms of building vocabulary, can it be synced or can it be used to learn the words from the word list? First of all, let's try and understand what is a word list. A word list simply could mean a list of words intended for learning. This word list could be of 100 words, 200 words, 250 words, 1000 words, 3500 words, 10,000 words, n number of words. There is no limit on the number of words that can be a part of the word list. Okay, so we are going to focus to a large extent on the word list that has been given to you on your student homepage. Now, before we go on to that, can we also look at the various types of word lists that can exist? One easiest way of doing it, or one of the best sources of word list, would be the one that you create. Whenever you start reading, whenever you come across a blog, whenever you come across words, can you create your own word list? Can you put up words and start creating your word list and going through this? For example, if you have heard of something called an e-reader, these days a lot of books can be read on various tools or on mobile phones for that matter. There is a Kindle that is available with an e-reader. Many times these also give you an option of creating your own word list. So when I'm reading a text on a book, I am reading a text on my e-reader and I come across a word whose meaning I do not know, I can simply underline it and that goes into my word list. So now I'm supposed to go through these words. So this word list is a customized one. There are a lot of students that I have met who create their own word list. That's one way of doing it. Second, you work on a word list which is exam specific. For example, GRE has its own word list because the kind of words evaluated in GRE are slightly different from the kind of words evaluated in CAT. So CAT can have a word list. The word list on your homepage is a CAT specific word list. There can be word lists for CET, there can be word lists for GMAT if case required, though GMAT is not a vocab centric paper. So there can be a SAT word list, multiple exam specific, or sometimes word list can be on a particular theme or a subject. For example, if I am a lawyer, I would need a list of words related to the legal, or rather a list of legal terms used in law. So there can be a word list for that. There can be a word list for medical terminologies. So there can be theme or subject based word list. Now let's look at the first category. How can I create a word list? Okay, is there any particular format we can have? Why should I create it? Okay, now how do you go about creating a word list? Let's look at that element. Whenever for a student, let's say a person who uses the English language on regular basis, or a person who does not even use an English language on regular basis, where does a person come across difficult words? Or where does a person come across words that he or she does not know? One can be in conversation. Let's say I work, my boss speaks English, I am supposed to use English as a language of business. I come across words I might not know. Second, when I read a newspaper, I read a magazine, I read a book, I come across these kind of words. When I am probably an accountant, I come across technical words I've never heard of. For example, when you pick up the Economic Times to read, or you pick up the business section in any newspaper, you might come across words you do not know. Those become technical words or jargons for you. And preparing for competitive exams. So you can create your word list. So what you probably can do is, if I'm going through, let's say, an AIMCAT, okay, while going through an AIMCAT, do you come across difficult words? Have you come across homophones you don't know? Have you come across misused words you do not know? You can start putting them as a part of this word list. So a student comes across difficult words in all these areas while preparing for an exam, for conversation, multiple things. Now once I have collated these words so and so to create my word list, I could essentially use some kind of a format. Okay, now this is just a guidelines on the basis of which how a word list can be created. It's not a hard and fast rule that it has to be created this way, but this is one of the ways of creating it. Divide words into 3 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. What is a level 1 word? Word which you probably have heard somewhere before, but you don't know the meaning of the word. What could be an example of a level 1 word? Let's say an example like the word eloquent. I'm sure you probably have heard the word eloquent somewhere, but you probably might not know the meaning of the word eloquent. That's a level 1 word. So when you are creating a word list, now look at the word, you keep the meaning of the word ready, you keep the usage of the word ready, and in case you're interested, since we have been working on the origins of word, if you can keep the origin part of the word also ready here. So it will give you an answer. If you can create some kind of a box or some kind of a flashcard, a word list can be easily converted to a cue card and becomes easier to carry when you move around, and probably also becomes slightly interesting way of doing it. So level 1 is basically words that you have at least heard about, but you do not know the meanings of these words. Level 2 are words you have never heard about, but you probably would like to use those words in your conversation. So let's say, for example, the word laconic. You've never heard of the word laconic, but laconic you would probably want to use in a conversation. Why is this categorization important? Many times it so happens that the kind of words I use have to depend upon the kind of audience I'm interacting with. I know a lot of words, but if I start using words which the opposite person does not understand, I actually cannot use those words there. So this is the second category. They are words you do not know, but you know you can use it in your day-to-day conversation, that people will understand when you use them. That is my level 2. So word like laconic probably would come in level 2. Level 3 are words which entrance exams probably evaluate when you read certain authors whose writings are difficult to read, like a P.G. Wodehouse example, classics for that example. You come across those words, but you know you may not never use that word. Let's say a word like chutzpah. Chutzpah means audacity. You might never use chutzpah as a word given to you, right? Because the pronunciation, the spelling would be a total problem, isn't it? So these kind of words, which we call the low frequency words, or words which are not very often used, come in this third category of words. So when you're creating your own word list, can you create level 1, level 2, level 3, and can you use this kind of a template to basically try and create your own word list? That's one. The second type of word list that we have are exam specific. Let's say CAT, let's say SAT, let's say GRE, any of these exams. The word list that has been put up on your home page is a word list which is CAT specific, keeping in mind the kind of vocab questions asked in CAT, the kind of level of difficulty of words questioned in CAT. These have been put under this category in the CAT word list. Now, how do I use this word list or these cue cards? You can use these you can use the words in these cue cards and try and use etymology for as many words as possible. I'll give you an example. If you probably can look at this Excel sheet. Okay, if you look at this Excel sheet, here there is a word being given to you, there is the root of the word being given to you, there is a meaning of the word being given to you, which will enable you to know the meaning of the word here. So what you probably can do is pick up the word list. Okay, I'm assuming when you go to solve the word list, you have already gone through the list of roots given to you on your home page. You've already gone through a list of prefixes. So you're very well acquainted with the roots and prefixes given to you on your home page. Now, once that is given to you, any word given to you, let's say the word given to you is abbreviate. You have worked on the roots, you have gone through the roots, so clearly it comes to you that there is a root called brevis, and the spelling of brevis and the spelling of the word abbreviate seem to be similar. So probably the root for abbreviate seems to be brevis, so brevis means shorten, so abbreviate has something to do with shorten. So can you pick up the words? Let's take for example the next one, abduct. Abduct, it's ab plus duct. You probably have gone through roots where you've come across a root called duc, and duc means to lead, the way we have it in a duct, an aqueduct, in introduction. There duct means lead. So if I'm saying ab and there is a duct, which means this word has something to do with lead. So root is deuce, the meaning of deuce is lead, so abduct would have something to do with lead. So what is the meaning of abduct? To lead away. That's how. So take up words. There is a possibility that all the words given to you in the word list might not have roots. You can remove those. Just work on the words in the word list where the roots are given to you. Now in a particular situation where you are unable to identify the root in that word, you can always use the dictionary for that. But the first step you have to do is know all the roots and prefixes, take up these roots and prefixes and try and figure out what is the meaning of the word there, what is the word given to you, what is the root given to you, and try and guess the meaning of the word. For example, if you have seen the cue cards that are given to students, the time cue cards, our time cue cards have 20 words on one page and the meanings of those are given to you on the reverse. Okay. Now when I am reading these words on this page, I look at the first word, let's say the word is abnegate. Now abnegate, when I am looking at the word abnegate, I know a few roots. So I'll try and figure out from my memory which are the roots which have some common spelling part called neg. I'll come across a root called neg. Neg means deny. Abnegate has that. So probably the root of abnegate is deny. So maybe abnegate has something to do with deny. So meaning is deny. I'll check on the reverse side. The meaning is given to me. Abnegate is self-denial. So accordingly, can I use the cue cards also? So can you use etymology? Can you use prefixes and all the other sources that we have taught to you to basically guess the meaning of the word list? So the word lists that are exam specific, you can actually use for this kind of a thing. So what is the first step that you need to do is, if you don't want to create your own word list, that might be a little time consuming, can you go on to the home page and there are these two word lists, the basic and the advanced level. Can you take up the basic level word list? If you do not remember the roots and the prefixes, can you keep a list of roots and prefixes handy? Look at the word list and see if you can match the column. See if you can identify the roots in the words given to you and see if you can guess the meaning of the roots. So what you're trying to do here is that you're trying to guess the meaning for the roots. Trust me, do this process for a month or two. When you're doing this, what happens? You're training your mind to look out for roots. Language is logical. If you remember, I said that some time back. The way you have to practice logic to be able to score marks in logic, the same thing would be applicable for English language. The same thing would be applicable for etymology. To be able to master etymology, you would have to guess the roots. So if you start practicing even 15 words or 20 words on regular basis where you learn to identify roots, trust me, your mind gets accustomed to it. Your mind gets accustomed to splitting words. It now knows, okay, in the case of abdicate, the split has to be ab and dic. If I give you a word anthropophagy, your mind knows the split is anthropo and phagy. This thing happens automatically. You don't have to prepare for it because you have trained your mind to work on it. So if you can use this word list as a training platform, where you train your mind to start guessing the meaning of the word by identifying the roots. So use etymology and prefixes predominantly. If etymology and prefixes are not working, then you could try the other sources in which words learning can happen. Okay, that's how word lists and cue cards have to be used. Another set of word lists or another type of word list is where they are thematic or they are subject based. So as I told you, there can be legal word list, there can be medical terminologies, there can be word lists related to a particular field, let's say art and architecture. There can be words derived from mythology, there can be words derived from, let's say, creatures and animals. These are also different ways in which word lists can be done. Now what we have tried to do as far as the SHP goes or as far as the vocab resources given to you goes, we've given you word lists which are exam specific, the two levels. We've also tried to give you subject and thematic word list. You probably also can use our subject word list wherein you will be able to guess the word based on the subject. You also have been provided a homophone word list where homophones and collocations and word associations have been given to you. These word lists are basically subject based or thematic. So first try etymology and prefixes for the word list or the cue cards given to you. If that doesn't work or if it works and you want to add on to your preparation, then you can look at the other subject wise word list provided to you. This is essentially how all the vocab building techniques have to be used along with the word list and the cue cards. Thank you.